Hello, welcome to Task 62, Assembling Blocks. In this assignment, you are asked to create 3 of these 4 assemblies. So take a look at the choices. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to make the choice in the upper right corner here, where the cylinder is on its side. So without further ado, let's begin. You need to find in your shared with me folder, which is in your OnShape sidebar, you need to find the file starter blocks for tasks 60, 61, and 62. So once you find your starter blocks file, you are going to want to click on the hamburger menu, copy the workspace, and make sure you give it a good name like task 63. I'm going to put mine in my owned by me and classwork folder. And you can put yours in your classwork folder as well. We are going to start by putting our name on one of the blocks. I think it makes sense to put our name on the tallest block since it's kind of peeking out over here. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll make a sketch on the front face of the tall blue block. Let me look at it from the front perspective, and I'm going to use my mouse to move everything over a little bit. If you don't have a mouse, this might be a good time to pause, connect a mouse. It'll make your life a little bit easier. A scroll wheel is very helpful with OnShape. So let me see, I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit and find my text tool so that I can create a text box on the face of this rectangle. I'm going to write my name and use the dimension tool to size it appropriately. So this seems like a good distance from the edge. I'm happy with the distance from the top. What I really need to do is fix the width of the text. I think it should be a little less than half of that. I'm going to go with maybe 0.75. Okay, so now the text is black. It's the right size. I'm going to accept my sketch, and I'm going to use the extrude tool on the face of the sketch to do a remove for a pretty shallow depth. I'm going to do 0.02. Okay, so it looks like we're etched in there. I hope that worked out with your name as well. The next step is going to be creating a new assembly. So I need to come down to the bottom left of my OnShape window and look for the plus sign, which is how we add a new tab to our project. Let's click on the plus sign, and we are going to create a new assembly here. Great. Once I see my assembly window, I'm going to use the insert button to insert the pieces that I need. I'm just going to refer back to the assignment here. I see I need the cube, the cylinder, the large blue block, and the tall thin green block. So here I go, cube, cylinder, large blue block, and tall thin green block. I think that's everything. So now that I have selected the pieces that I actually need, I can click somewhere on the graphics area to place my blocks, and then I'm going to accept this insert, and here I am. I'm going to now right click on the graphics area, this white space, and choose zoom to fit so that I can see everything. That helps me see all the blocks on my in my project. Alright, next I like to think about, what am I going to use as my foundation? What is a block that is at the base? What is the block that is touching a lot of other blocks? I think in this case, the green block is a good choice because it is supporting 2 other blocks. It's It's at the bottom of things. It's also probably touching this large blue block, so it's actually touching all three of the others. Let's go ahead and make this our foundation, if you will. So we're going to work with the green block first. I see it's actually on its side, so let's use this. By the way, I clicked once on the green block to get access to this triad manipulator. These arrows let us shift the block around along 3 different axes, or even rotate the block around 3 different axes. So that's what we need to do. We need to rotate. I'm going to grab this circle at the end of the Z-axis arrow and rotate 90 degrees. I can use my mouse to rotate, or I can actually type in the number 90, and that should get us into the right position. I also need to rotate, I think 90 degrees about the Y-axis. So let me grab this circle here and turn. This is 90 degrees. This now looks like the orientation that I see in the assignment image. So I'm going to click off. I had to click twice. Click 2 times off of the block, and we are in position. Next, let me bring back my manipulator. I'm going to right click on the circle where the 3 arrows connect and choose move to origin. And that way we're centered on the origin, and I'm even going to right click again and choose fix. Fix will make our block stationary. We won't be able to move it around anymore. So now that we have the green block in position, I propose we put the cube in position next. Let's bring the cube over the green block. I don't need to change the cube's orientation. It looks like it'll line up nicely with the green block, and it's pointed in about the same way as our assignment. Let's go ahead and start connecting these 2 shapes. We're going to use the fastened mate connector, and when I click there, I get my fastened mate dialog box, and we need to find our mate connectors. I think we probably want to connect along the back edge of the green block and the blue block. Let's go ahead and hover over this top face of the green block. I want to grab the center of the edge, but you can kind of see as I get close to the center of the edge, the orientation of the mate connector changes. That's going to change the way that the blocks meet up with each other. So what I need to do while I'm hovering over the top of the face, before I go to the mate connector, I'm going to push down on the shift key. Holding down the shift key will keep these points from changing their orientation, which is makes it a lot easier to connect your blocks. So while we're holding down the shift key, we're going to click on the center of this back edge of the green block. Oops, I lost it. Click, and I'm going to pick up the shift key now. I'm going to start rotating the world around a little bit until I can see the underside of the cube, because we want the underside of the cube to meet up with the top face of the green block. So while I'm hovering around the right underneath the bottom of the cube, I'm going to hold down the shift key and click on the center of the back edge. So the center of the back edge of the cube should meet up with the center of the back edge of the green block, and I think that looks just right. So let's grab our next shape. Next we want the cylinder, I think, to meet up with the cube. Let's do that one next. So we are going to take our cylinder first and rotate it, because as you can see in our assignment, the cylinder is on its side, And in OnShape, right now our cylinder is not lying on its side, it's kind of standing up. So let's click on it once and get our triad manipulator. We're going to grab the circle at the end of the y-axis and rotate around 90 degrees. There we go. Okay. At this point, I think I've done all the rotating I need to do. I'm going to click off of our block and drag our block over in the direction where it needs to be, where it needs to meet up with the cube. Let's use our fastened mate. This time, I don't think it makes sense to use any edges or any corners to join these blocks. It looks to me like we could have the center of the top, or maybe one, I should say one of the circular sides of the cylinder, meet up with the center of the face of the cube. They pretty much look like they're centered on each other. So let's do that. We can grab the center of the cube. That time I did not need to use the shift key. It's kind of easy to grab the center. And we can click on the center of the cylinder on the circular side. And let's see how that looks. That looks awesome. So let's go ahead and accept our sketch. And one last step will be to connect our large blue block with the rest of the assembly. So it looks to me like the bottom of the large blue block is aligned with the bottom of the green block, and we can probably just connect them by going to the corner, the back corner of each face that needs to connect. So let's start with our fastened mate tool again. I'm going to move this out of my way here a little bit. If I hover over the face of the right side of the large block, I can hold down my shift key and then find the corner that I want to meet up with the corner of the green block. Okay, I'm letting go of my shift key. I'm going to start turning things around, and I'm going to hover over the face of the green block that's going to be meeting up with the large blue block. I'm going to hold down my shift key and click on the corner, the back corner here, and let's see how things look. It looks to me like we lined up okay right here. Let's see how it looks in the back. I think we'll keep it. So one last step before you turn your work in. Hopefully you put your name on your work at the beginning. If you didn't, you should put your name on your work now. You can always go back to your tab with the Part Studio if you need to add your name, and then come back to the assembly by just clicking between these tabs. I'm going to turn on the hidden edges by opening my View Cube menu over here, mousing down to Hidden Edges Removed, and turning that to Hidden Edges Visible. When you submit these block assemblies, we always like to see the hidden edges visible. And lastly, for each of the mate features, please click on the eyeball so that it's not crossed out anymore. This shows where you made all of your mate connections, your fastened mate connections, and it's just kind of a record, a way of showing your work before you submit. Well, I hope this was helpful. Good luck with the project.